Welcome back to This Day in Irish History. I'm your host, Raymond Welsh. Today, we turn our attention to February 3rd, 1537, a day that marked the brutal end of one of Ireland's most powerful dynasties. On this day, Thomas FitzGerald, Lord of Offaly, and 5 of his uncles were executed at Tyburn in London. Their deaths brought about the destruction of the once mighty FitzGerald dynasty, a family that had held immense influence in Ireland for centuries. To understand the significance of this event, we must go back to the origins of the FitzGerald family in Ireland. Descended from Norman invaders who arrived in the 12th century, the FitzGeralds became the dominant force in the province of Leinster, particularly in Kildare. They held the hereditary position of Lord Deputy of Ireland, acting as the English crown's representatives while simultaneously governing their lands with near autonomy. For generations, they walked a fine line between loyalty to the English monarch and the assertion of their own power in Ireland. By the early 16th century, the FitzGeralds of Kildare were the most powerful family in Ireland. The 9th Earl of Kildare, Gerald FitzGerald, known as Garret Og, had maintained a strong grip on Irish affairs. However, when King Henry VIII sought to bring Ireland under tighter English control, the FitzGeralds found themselves in a precarious position. In 1534, Garret Og was summoned to London, leaving his son, Thomas FitzGerald, known as Silken Thomas, as acting Lord Deputy. What followed was one of the most dramatic rebellions in Irish history. Convinced that his father had been executed in London, the 21-year-old Thomas openly rebelled against the English crown. He rode to St. Mary's Abbey in Dublin, renounced his allegiance to Henry VIII, and declared war on the English. The rebellion, later known as the Geraldine Rebellion, saw his forces initially achieve success, laying siege to Dublin Castle. However, the might of the Tudor monarchy was too great. English forces, led by Lord Leonard Grey, crushed the rebellion, and Thomas was eventually captured in 1535 after being promised clemency, an empty promise as it turned out. 2 years later, on February 3rd, 1537, Thomas and 5 of his uncles were executed in London. Their deaths were not only an act of punishment, but a statement. Henry VIII sought to end the FitzGerald dominance in Ireland once and for all. The execution was brutal and symbolic, marking the first time an entire noble family was targeted for destruction under the Tudor regime. The fall of the FitzGeralds signalled the end of Gaelic and Hiberno-Norman autonomy in Ireland. Their lands were seized and English rule became more direct. Though the FitzGerald lineage survived through younger members of the family, they never again wielded the same power. The rebellion and its aftermath paved the way for further English expansion and the eventual colonization of Ireland. As we reflect on the events of February 3rd, 1537, we remember the rise and fall of the FitzGeralds, a family that once shaped the destiny of Ireland. Their story is one of power, defiance, and tragedy, a reminder of the relentless struggle between Irish autonomy and English rule. Thank you for joining us on This Day in Irish History. Please like, subscribe, and tune in tomorrow for another fascinating episode. I'm Raymond Welsh. Slán go Fóill.